What's up, guys? This is the Athletic School podcast. Today it's gonna be a little different. This episode, we're gonna bring some names, some athletes, personalities that we like, personalities that helped us, um, and then we're gonna discuss about what we think about it, things that they did that worked out really good, things that they didn't do, how their mindset works, and stuff like that. So today's just me and my partner Gustavo. So welcome.
Yeah. Hello, guys. We are basically discussing if success is a choice or not, and we just brought some examples of people that have been working to be successful their whole lives, and I truly believe that it's a choice. So it's not an accident. They're not successful by other reasons. They practice their whole lives to be successful, and we are gonna bring some examples to you guys.
Yeah. So my first choice, my first name is John Wooden. He was a basketball coach for UCLA. I came across with him, not with him, his books and his teachings a couple years ago when I was reading one of his books. And I'm not a person that watches a lot of basketball, but he won 10 national championship in a 12-year period. So that's huge.
It's amazing.
Seven of them were in a row, so I think that's great. I think the results are pretty awesome, but I think that goes way beyond that because we're not here just to talk about his results. Many of his athletes always talk about his mindset, how they become not better only athletes, but a better person to the society in general. Because he wasn't a college coach, so he helped them to succeed in academically and athletic. So I think that was awesome. Um, I think one of the biggest teachings that I got from his book was basically discipline, be on time, and like you Spencer in the other podcast mentioned him as well,
Yeah.
talking about how success for him was just giving a lot of effort, commitment to always try to get better and make sure that you do everything that you can.
Yeah, I think I remember when Spencer mentioned him, he said that success is a peace of mind.
Yes.
It's basically knowing that everything you did was everything you could do it to be successful, and that's how you feel. Even if you lose, you know you did everything you could, and that's something that it was really nice from Spencer's podcast. He mentioned the coach that you were mentioning here, John Wooden, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
And something nice that I'd like to bring as well is like the academic side that you mentioned. He was it was a big role for John, like to be their athletes being successful in in the academic side as well, and that's really cool. Not just in the athlete part, because if you're a good student, that's gonna be for your whole life.
Yes,
And
for sure.
your time as an athlete, unfortunately, you have just a few years of career. You cannot play for your whole life.
I think we are not only discussing if this school is good or bad for you, but I think because he was trying to make the athletes a better person outside the court, make them even better inside the court, and I think that was good. Um, he mentioned he has a lot of quotes that talk kind of like stoic quotes that he mentioned make each day your masterpiece. So like we mentioned in athletic school many times, like the athletes the who achieve good performance, they always do that practice, that session as their last. So I think we have a lot to learn from him. Of course, we can't talk just only about him, but I think he has a lot of stuff to tell us about it.
Yeah, and one of his quotes that I really like is like, "A doer make mistakes," and that's something that I think I carry for my personal life, and I think we carry that with the athletic school.
Yeah.
We are always doing. If it doesn't right, we learn. If it's not right, we learn from it, and we're not losing. Like, or we win, or we learn from that. So that's something that I think his players had this mindset. They were like free to try new things, to do their best. If they are not able to do it, they would try another time. What
Yeah.
is even as a player, it's awesome to have this confidence to try to play your best. And if you cannot make it, you try again until you'll be successful.
Yeah, yeah, and I think like so many athletes that they achieved so many good things, they have the mindset because usually they weren't born perfect. You know, they weren't born a basketball player, a soccer player, a volleyball player. They learned, they made a lot of mistakes, and then they learned from that. The time that they didn't win, they maybe the result wasn't good for them, but they learned something, so that helped them in the next game, next match, or whatever they play. So yeah, I think we're gonna go across a lot of other athletes, and we'll see that they have a lot of things in common. Yeah. So who you choose for us to
I would
discuss?
like to bring to this discussion. It's the Brazilian, the coach from the Brazilian national team, volleyball team, Bernardin. He was very successful. He won 2 Olympic medals. What is
Huge.
what is huge. And of course, we're not talking about his results, but his career is like super pretty with a lot of good results, but he has a winning mentality. And something funny about him that I'd like to bring to the discussion is that like they won the Olympic medal, the gold medal, I think it's 2004. And then next year, like usually it's the same players that are selected to the national team for the same generation. They used to practice in the morning like 9 a.m. And then the other year they thought it would be like easier because they won the Olympic medal. And then their reward for that is to starting the practice 8 a.m. And they weren't understanding because they won, they were successful already. But then Bernardin said, to be successful, we need to do more. The other teams are going to prepare to beat us, and we need to wake up early. And then they won the World Championship this year. And the next year, they started practicing at 7 a.m. So they were always like, they wanted to bring more. Like, they wanted to do more, even though they were successful. And that's something that it explains a lot why they were successful, because
Yeah.
every single year they're doing more and more.
Yeah,
And that's something.
I had the opportunity to read his book, and people say, "Oh, that book changed my life," and I think his book would have changed all my perceptions about sport because I was practicing and I couldn't see a lot of results, and I was trying to be disciplined and this and that, and then I was starting to question myself. Oh, but like is this right, you know, should I really be doing that or not? And then when I read his book, like okay, I'm in the right path, you know. Like of course the results matter, but I think my mindset matters way more. And he mentioned John Wooden in, you know, a lot of times in his books and other coaches. So I mean his results in the Brazil national team is, it's crazy how good they were and still are. But like his discipline, his mentality of trying always to win, and like kind of like that. Like after you win, you start thinking about the next one. I saw Pep Guardiola, a soccer coach, mentioning like the good players. They're always thinking next one, next one. Doesn't matter if it was good or bad. It's next one. You
How
know.
to do
So
better.
yeah,
Even though if you won, they want
yes,
to do better.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
and I think it's something that you mentioned, like discipline, about John and Bernardinho. Bernardinho has a good quote that he says that discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your success, if you achieve or not your dreams, and that's something that both bring to us, like discipline. It's like a habit, something that is a choice. It's not something. It's something that you can train. So yeah, it's something that both do it really well.
yeah,
And another story about Bernardinho is like he likes to create a sense that you deserve to win. And one of the travels with the Brazilian national team, they didn't have a place to practice, and they were in the airport, and they practiced in the parking lots of the airport. And that's something that he said after. He said, "Oh, the practice in the airport doesn't mean anything about if they're not gonna get better in the parking lot. They're not gonna learn something new, but the fact that they are practicing the parking lot makes them create a sense that they deserve to win, because they were there practicing a parking lot, and that's super unusual for a professional athlete. You don't want to practice in these bad conditions, so they would think, oh, I practice in these conditions, I deserve to win. And in the last points, Bernardin said that it makes a huge difference, and it's something that I really believe, because when you are in a tough match and you feel that you deserve to win because you have been through so many things that make you feel confident in the end of a tough game, and then you are able to perform what you should perform.
Yeah, I mean, I love this guy. It's crazy. I feel, yeah. I think for sports we get in a point that our technique, our skills, they kind of they match it, and then the only way to step up a little bit is your mindset. It's when you do stuff like that, because it's just like he said, you won't get better practicing the parking lot, but because you're gonna create the sense that you deserve to win the game, that can change everything.
It makes a huge difference.
Yes, it does. So yeah, and I mean, John Wooden kind of does the same with his players, because controlling what you can, you know, like you, and not only you don't focus on your on the in your opponent. You focus on what you can do to improve your performance. Of course, like, we gotta study the opponent and stuff like that, but that's not what we're saying here. We're trying to say that you should focus on what you can control. You can control your performance, you can control how you play, but you can control how the other team plays. So, well, just focus on doing better than the other team, and that should be enough. Yeah. So just moving on, I brought some other guys that, I mean, there's so many names that we can talk about it, that we should have a podcast every day, like 4 hours to talk all of them. But I was reading the Tom Brady's book, and it's crazy how he made it. I think everyone is kind of familiar with his path, how he was in college. He wasn't a super good player. He wasn't a star. Even for the NFL draft, he wasn't one of the first picks.
He was at the very bottom.
Yeah, he was at the bottom. I think the judges were saying that he wasn't fast. He was an average player, and well, today he's not even close to be average. In his book, he talks a lot about athletic performance, so some stuff that he does that we can kind of bring for the mindset as well. But like he mentioned about pliability, and how hydration and food, all those things helped him. And I don't think it's just about that, but it's kind of comes back to what we were saying about discipline, because he has such a good focus on what he wants to do, that he thinks, well, I'm not gonna, drink this can of soda. I'm not gonna eat that. I need to go to bed early, stuff like that. And if you adds up all those small details, they will make a huge difference up front. And I think that's what happened with him, because I mean, he was young, and they had quarterbacks way better than him. But well, today he's one of the greatest of all time. He's the one that has the most Super Bowls and stuff like that. So I think it's huge. In his book, he also mentioned about mindset and how he used to visualize, even do meditation, to try to let the stress out. He tried to always balance his mind and his body. So I think that's
it's kind of go back to the beginning of the podcast, if being successful is a choice or not. And he has chosen, like, through these small things to be successful. And that's the small things that everyone can do it, but not everyone does it. I'm pretty sure he chose to be successful. And if it's gonna work for everyone else, I cannot say.
Right.
But it's worth a try. Like, if he's an NFL player in the highest level that you can be, and he does that,
Yeah.
why shouldn't like us
Should we really
college
do it?
students?
Right.
No, I don't need that. It's
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
We should do it as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we win one game and then we think it's good enough.
Yeah.
You see your face in the school and you think, oh yeah, I'm a star, but
Mhm.
well, it's not like that.
And maybe he's just there because he did that through his whole life.
Exactly. I truly believe that there's so many techniques that can help you being successful, but I think we gotta focus on what works for almost everyone that has been successful, you know. And successful, I don't mean win one game, two games, you know, or one championship or stuff like that. Because well, we talk about John Wooden, he won 10 national championships. Um, Tom Brady has, if I'm not wrong, 7 Super Bowls. You know, he's been there for a long time. You go to Bernardin, he won 2 Olympic medals and
eight and yeah.
like
World
so many
championship, it's a
so
lot.
many things, and I think that's what we're talking about because win one game. I think I'm not sure who says that, but there's a quote that says talent win games and teams win championship tournaments. You know, so well that's what really matters.
Yeah, and when we start analyzing these people like Bernardino, John Wooden, Tom Brady, you can see that like discipline. It's something that they all have.
Yeah.
So it's not a key for success, but it's something that for sure it's gonna help you, and it's for sure like made them successful. And that's a choice that you can have: be disciplined or not be disciplined. And
Okay, I have a question for you. I want to see your opinion about it because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, but if you can be missing out this or missing out that when you go practice and maybe you don't go hang out with your friends." So what do you think about that? Do you think that there's a level of discipline that people should consider not passing that level, or is discipline that's what you need to do and that's it? What do you think about it?
I think it's always you cannot have everything. You gotta give up something. And if your dream is being I don't know, a successful goalkeeper, you gotta give up a little bit of your social life. You gotta be able to manage. You need to work. Maybe you need to work smarter than other people. Manage your time better, but you cannot go out like 4 days per week and think that you're gonna work out in the morning in the same performance that the guy that was sleeping was sleeping last night. He's gonna work out better than you. His performance is gonna be better than yours, and that it comes back about we were talking before. Like that's your discipline, your habits. They make you successful. And the question was if there's a level of discipline that's too much for you. I don't think we should give up everything in our lives because relationships are a big thing for me with friends and with other people, knowing other people. But it's how much it weighs for you if you want to be a successful athlete.
Yeah.
And if the cost is bigger, for some players the cost is really big. They give up almost everything, but now they're enjoying their career.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's a personal decision. For me, I don't think we should give up everything, but for sure we need to be 90% focused on your career.
Yeah.
And then 10% you can do things that you like, and always think about your performance. Basically don't screw up.
Right. Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. I think it's important to emphasize that it's okay if you don't wanna be the best one. You know, I mean that's not my mindset. I don't think it's yours, but like it's okay if you don't wanna do this, if you don't wanna do that. But in case you want to, you gotta you need to do it. You know, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do, and well, that's it. And just the other day I was watching a movie that I indicate for you, and it's called In Search of Greatness. There's the soccer player Pelé and some other players, and the hockey player Wayne Gretzky, if I'm not pronouncing wrong. He was one of the best of all times, and and he mentioned what you said, like his friends when he was young wants to go out, go to the movie theater, do this and do that, and he really wants to become better in playing hockey, so he wants to stay home in the backyard playing hockey and practicing and getting better, and because of
That's
course,
what he likes to do
yeah,
as well.
of course, because he loves. And something that Bernardino mentioned in his book is there's two things that can move you. One is passion, and the other one is necessity. So of course, there's many different cases, but in this case, he loved so much and he want to be there. Then it's not that don't matter his friends, but I mean you need to have priorities. And well, once you choose what you want the most, you gotta say, okay, I'm gonna stick with this thing, and sorry for that, I can come back on that later, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think these two paths that you're talking about, Bernardin was moved by passion, and I think necessity. It's a good example as well. His libero from the national team, Serginho. He was a guy that in the beginning of his career he didn't have much. He didn't have much money, so he used to play thinking about paying his bills, to get food for him, and that's a mentality that he brought to the team, and he ended up being, for me, he's the best libero of all times. And he's not even that talented if you see him playing, and he was the best. And you say how sometimes he does this technique wrong, but he's still able to perform better than the others. And maybe this mentality that he needed in the beginning of his life, it was his job, and if he didn't have that, he wouldn't have what to eat maybe. And then and that's something just to show the other side. Sometimes not passion is necessity, and it's still like a great example of success.
I think we need to find like a one move us so we can perform better. In this case his case was necessity. Of course, it was clear for him, and for some people it's passion. But like once we go out there and we experience things, we know, okay, this is what makes me go. That's what makes me get up in the morning and say, okay, I want to become this person, so I need to do this. So I think that's really cool. Do you have one more for us?
I would like to bring an athlete right now, and this athlete is Usain Bolt. I'd like to bring him just because he was like so huge, and he has a different mentality that I would like to bring the discussion. Like before the Olympic Games, he said, "Oh, I can be like, I can be happy right now. Even before the match, I can be relaxed because I'm confident enough that I'm gonna win because I did everything I could before." And he said that, "Oh, I don't feel pressure during the sprints because I work very hard, and now I just gotta do what I practice." And he had everything under control. And he basically knew he was better than the others, and he knew he was going to win. And that's something, he was in the highest level of his sport, and he still had this mindset that I'm gonna win no matter what. And that's something that I really would like to bring. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I love it. I think it's so cool. I think we posted something in athletic school a couple weeks ago that mentioned that like confidence comes from practicing, from doing the same thing over and over and over. It's not because these guys they don't stop after they score a goal or after they do the point. Score the basket. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't stop. They keep doing it. Something that Michael Jordan mentioned as well. He mentioned that like once things are start to get bad, he comes back to the basics and do everything over and over to kind of develop that confidence on him, so he can keep going and do better. And I think
and I agree with you. Like some guys, they like we get confident when you practice a lot. You repeat the motion, the action, like so many times that you feel confident to do under pressure. But like there are some guys that they have this game mindset that I personally don't think is the best. They don't take care about themselves very often, but during the game they are good players. they want to win no matter what. And but it goes back to discipline. And then when you kind of combine both, like use them both, being disciplined and also having this game mindset, being relaxed, knowing that you are capable of, you become like really great. You are really you do more than the others because you combine two, like one of like your mindset and your discipline, two big strengths between inside the sports, and then you can become like really great.
Yeah, I think talent is great, but talent without discipline, it's there is a power on it. But if you can choose between discipline and talent, I think you should choose discipline because discipline can take you in a way that only talent cannot take you.
Yeah,
you know.
true.
So when you combine both, I think that's great. But we're talking about these guys, and even Joe Wooden mentioned that like his basketball skills, they were average. You know what made him won 10 national championship was his mindset and the other things that he did. So I think it's really important to have the discipline. If you have the talent, great, you should use. But if you don't have the talent, you should focus on become disciplined and practicing because, like we were saying, I believe that success is a choice, and all these guys they chose to become successful. So, anything else that would you like to mention?
No, I think that's it. It's like, my conclusion is that success is a choice. Sometimes we always do this question on our podcast. How you measure success is important. Sometimes not being the best athlete is like being a better person and a good athlete. And that's your personal opinion about what you want to be. But for sure, it's a choice. Like some people are not willing to give up some things to achieve what they want to achieve, and like sometimes, as you said about Tom Brady, small things during the day. Yeah, it's a lot of things, but always small, and then it made him successful. And these are choices.
Yeah, and yeah, of course, I agree with you. And if you guys that are listening and you don't agree with us, please let us know, talk to us, comment, or send a message because we are more than open to hear what you guys have to say.
We want to learn as well.
Yeah,
from
of course.
Different opinions.
Of course. I think we can become successful by ourselves. We need people. People need people. So I think that's great. So if you don't agree with us, let us know. If you liked, share that with a friend and an athlete or someone else that you think that might be helpful. If you are watching and listening to us on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe and like the video down below. And the podcast, it's available on many platforms, so make sure you guys share. Thanks so much for your attention. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much for staying with us.